What's going on, guys? We're back with another video. Today, we're going to be doing installment number 3 of my monthly mock draft series leading up to the draft. A lot changes by month in the college basketball world, as do the NBA standings, and for this draft, I used the standings as of March 20th. The only difference between this one and the two I've done in the past is that now I'm going to be drafting the entire lottery instead of just the top 10. Before we get started though, make sure you subscribe to the channel below if you're a new viewer, as it's always much appreciated to show any kind of support to the channel. With that being said, let's get right into it. With the first pick in the draft, the Phoenix Suns select DeAndre Aten. I asked you guys on Twitter who you all thought the first pick should be because I was torn between two options. Over 1,400 of you voted, and the majority of you picked Aten, which at the end of the day I do agree with. Aten just has too much upside and talent to pass on, no matter who else might be a better fit or need. He's a physical freak of nature that looks like a grown man amongst boys, and he certainly plays like it as well. Sure, his Arizona team may have been upset earlier in the tournament than they would have wanted, which is upsetting, but don't let one game affect how you feel about a player. He is still a dominant rim protector that can score inside and out. The Suns will be tempted to take Luca Donch to pair with Devin Booker in the backcourt after striking out on Alex Len and Dragan Bender, but Aten is still the clear-cut pick at this time. With the second pick in the draft, the Memphis Grizzlies select Luca Donch. Mike Conley is coming back healthy next year, but the Grizzlies still need someone to pair with him in the backcourt. Luca Donch can play both guard positions with his 6'8" height, and his playmaking and scoring abilities are very advanced for his age. He is currently dominating the best league in Europe, which is the EuroLeague, as well as leading his Real Madrid team to first place in the Spanish League. This is almost unheard of in Europe, because typically young players don't even get big minutes ahead of veterans. Donch, however, has proven to be far too good to keep on the bench, and his team keeps winning as a result. With the third pick in the draft, the Atlanta Hawks select Marvin Bagley. The Hawks need to get themselves out of the bottom of the Eastern Conference, and they need a lot to do it, and adding Bagley would be a great start. With point guard Dennis Schroeder loving to run pick and rolls, Bagley would be a perfect big man to pair with him. He finishes at the basket at a high level out of pick and rolls and through post-ups, and he even has a little bit of range out to the three-point line. He shoots fewer than 2 threes per game, but his 38.6% from behind the arc is very promising in regards to translating to the NBA level. There have been some slight concerns about his defense in college, which I will admit are worrisome, but overall Bagley has way too much upside to pass up on. With the fourth pick in the draft, the Orlando Magic select Michael Porter Jr. Michael Porter Jr. attempted to make a comeback late in the season and played in Missouri's final 2 games of the season. Both games ended in a Missouri loss, and Michael Porter Jr. didn't exactly look very good in either of the games. Despite all of this, however, I can't imagine Porter dropping lower than 4th pick. Coming back from injury is difficult enough as it is, and adding into the fact that his play style is as a go-to scorer makes it even harder to incorporate him into an offensive scheme that was used to playing without him all year. As he continues to get closer and closer to 100% health, I can definitely see him absolutely nailing some pre-draft workouts and saving face on his declining draft stock, and a team like Orlando could certainly use him. With the 5th pick in the draft, the Dallas Mavericks select Mohamed Bamba. The Mavericks could use a lot of help, so going with the best player available is probably the best route for them to go. In my eyes, the best player available is Bamba, as his ceiling is out of this world. He's a 7-footer with a 7'9" wingspan, and he protects the paint at an elite level already. He blocked 3.6 shots per game this season, which ranked 2nd in all of Division I. His offensive game is still pretty raw, as he is still filling out and getting used to his massive body frame, but he was still able to shoot 54.1% from the field this year. His three-pointer is still a work in progress, as it was very inconsistent all year long, but the rest of his game is much more important than his shooting, and it propels him into the top 5 of the draft. With the 6th pick in the draft, the Sacramento Kings select Jaren Jackson. The Kings are in no place to be picky when it comes to the draft, as they still need a lot of help in many different ways before they can begin to contend for anything. That said, they will probably go the best player available route as well, on top of fitting a need, which will result in the selection of Jaren Jackson from Michigan State. Jackson is also top 10 in Division I in blocks per game, like Bamba, averaging 3 per game, with his great defensive instincts. He stretches the floor to the three-point line by knocking down 39.6% of his threes, which is very valuable in today's NBA as well. The only worries about him is that he is still very raw and might take a while to adjust to the level of competition, making him more of a project pick, but the Kings have plenty of time to be patient with him. With the 7th pick in the draft, the Cleveland Cavaliers select Trey Young. As a prospect, Trey Young is very controversial. He has drawn comparisons to both Steph Curry and Jimmer Fredette, which represents both extreme ends of the spectrum. He struggled mightily down the stretch of the season, and his Oklahoma Sooners were eliminated from the first round of the tournament. While I personally might not be as high on him as others are as a prospect, that doesn't matter because Cleveland Cavaliers franchise player LeBron James is, and the team will do anything to make sure that LeBron James comes back next summer, so they'll pick any player he wants. LeBron has been very openly supportive of Trey Young this year, and if Young signs to LeBron's Clutch Sports agency, it seems all but guaranteed that Young will be a Cavalier next season, despite what any scout thinks of him as a prospect. With the 8th pick in the draft, the Chicago Bulls select Mikhail Bridges. Bridges has consistently wound up on the Bulls in my mock drafts because he's just such a perfect fit for them. His incredibly consistent play this season has taken another step forward in the tournament on the biggest stage. He's a jack-of-all-trades wing that does everything an NBA team could possibly want from the position. Labeling him as just 3-and-D would be underrating how much he brings as a player. Yes, his defensive potential is extremely high, and yes, he is a phenomenal three-point shooter off the catch. But he also attacks the rim very well for a player of his thin frame, and as his body fills out in the NBA, he will only get better in this regard. The Bulls need a wing player anyway to pair with their promising young core, so it's a match made in heaven. With the 9th pick in the draft, the New York Knicks select Wendell Carter. The Knicks' position at the moment is very unfortunate because they could also desperately use someone with Mikhail Bridges' skill set, but instead they'll have to take Wendell Carter from Duke to pair with Kristaps Porzingis in the front court. If Enes Kanter and Kyle O'Quinn both opt out of their contracts this summer, the Knicks' front court is very thin, so adding someone like Carter could be a beneficial pick at this spot. Carter scores in the post very well, stretches the floor with his jump shot, and has great instincts on the offensive glass. Rebounding has surprisingly never been Porzingis' strength, despite his size, so Carter could work well alongside him. With the 10th pick in the draft, the Charlotte Hornets select Collin Sexton. Michael Carter-Williams is currently the Hornets' backup point guard, and the year isn't 2014, which makes that a huge issue. Carter-Williams is gone after this season as well, and the Hornets will be looking for a replacement to back up Kemba Walker, which Sexton could do very well. Sexton attracted the attention of the national media after his surprising run to the SEC championship game and his fantastic play during that run. He's gritty, tough, and lightning quick, with the drive to do whatever it takes to win games. Sure, his jump shot is inconsistent, and sometimes he plays hero ball a bit too much, which are concerns for sure, but with the proper coaching, he could make an immediate impact on a Hornets team that hopes to get back to the playoffs by next year. With the 11th pick in the draft, the Los Angeles Clippers select Myles Bridges. The Clippers got this pick from the Pistons in the Blake Griffin trade, which makes the deal look even better for them after all of the recent Pistons struggles. With it, they'll take Myles Bridges from Michigan State. Bridges is hyper-athletic with a nice strong body that could help him adjust to the NBA quickly. He came back for his sophomore season hoping to increase his draft stock, but unfortunately he didn't do much of that at all. He slightly improved his jump shot, but his shot selection was questionable throughout the year. He is such a gifted athlete, yet he struggles to attack the rim with the success that you would want from someone like that, and he settles for his jump shots far too often. No matter, he will still be a lottery pick, and the Clippers would be a good spot for him as they need forward depth. With the 12th pick in the draft, the Philadelphia 76ers select Kevin Knox. Shot creation from the bench has been a glaring weak spot all year, and the Sixers' bench offense has been one of the league's worst as a result. The team already has their starting power forward in Dario Saric, but they still need a backup for next year, as Ersan Ilyasova is a free agent. Kevin Knox provides the exact kind of scoring punch that the Sixers need so badly, as his handle for a forward is solid, and his shot-making abilities have been huge for Kentucky this season. With the 13th pick in the draft, the Los Angeles Clippers select Robert Williams. Williams, like Myles Bridges, came back for a second year of college hoping to improve his draft stock, but didn't really do much so at all. He was predicted to be in the late lottery last year, and is still predicted in the same area this year. This isn't completely a bad thing though, because he still does bring a lot of value to a team. He's been inconsistent throughout the regular season, but in the NCAA tournament so far, his motor on the glass has been better than anyone I have seen. He controls the boards at a very high level, similar to Tristan Thompson before he became a Kardashian, and that warrants him being picked in the lottery. With the 14th pick in the draft, the Denver Nuggets select Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Jamal Murray is the only player capable of playing point guard coming back to the team next year, and he is more of a combo guard anyway. Gilgeous-Alexander came out of nowhere this year and became Kentucky's best player, doing everything on both ends of the floor for the team. He's 6'6", giving him great height for a point guard, and he scores, passes, rebounds, and plays defense well for the position. Depth has hurt the Nuggets this year, so giving Jamal Murray a reliable backup or partner in the backcourt would finally help this team make the leap into the Western Conference playoffs. And with that being said, that's all I have for you today. Make sure you leave a like on the video for more videos like this moving forward, and subscribe to the channel if you're a new viewer. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next video.